Lifeguard 22 LR Pistol, $300. The Lifeguard is a single-shot Derringer chambered in 22 LR. It folds up to resemble a credit card and is 3.375 inches long, 2.125 inches wide, and half an inch thick. It is hard to detect and incredibly easy to conceal, making it ideal for concealed carry. It is made from billet aluminum, and they'll be releasing a polymer variant later this year. This model is one of the first generations of the Lifeguard and existed before the 22 WMR version. The Trailblazer Lifeguard 22 LR pistol is a fully ambidextrous gun with 2 toggles on the handle and barrel. It is easy to fold and unfold and can be ready to fire quickly from the folded position. The handle has a small compartment to store spare 22 LR rounds, but it makes a lot of noise while carrying the gun. The ergonomics of the gun aren't impressive, but the controls are small and simple, making it easy to load, cock, and fire the weapon. The Trailblazer Lifeguard 22 LR pistol is a tiny 22 LR Derringer with no sights. It has a stiff but short trigger and is difficult to shoot accurately. It has a little recoil, but is comfortable to fire over and over again. It is difficult to see the Lifeguard 22 LR in a self-defense role due to its slow deployment and low caliber. However, it is a unique design and will attract some attention at the range. The Lifeguard is a 22 LR pistol with a capacity of 1 round and a barrel length of 2.5 inches. It has a low accuracy and ergonomics, but is reliable and easy to conceal. It can be customized with a leather or Kydex holster, pocket sleeve, and a 22 WMR conversion barrel. It is a niche gun for curiosity and its interesting design, but not for serious self-defense. Desert Eagle 50 AE, $1,900. The Desert Eagle 50 AE was designed to be the semi-auto handgun capable of chambering the largest centerfire handgun cartridge in the world. It was designed by Magnum Research Inc. and produced by Israel Military Industries until 1995, when Sacco Defense took over production. The gun is massive and can come chambered in other calibers such as .44 Magnum and .357 Magnum. The rim of the 50 AE is the same size as the .44 Magnum, and the case tapers slightly down to 54-inch to accommodate the 50-inch projectile. The rim of the 50 AE is the same size as the .44 Magnum, and the case tapers slightly down to 54 to accommodate the 50 projectile. The Desert Eagle 50 AE is a single-action handgun with a 6-inch barrel made of carbon steel. It has a 4-lug bolt and a port under the chamber where gas is routed when a shot is fired. The recoil is extremely stout and the muzzle flash is bright. The gun has received a bad reputation for being prone to jams, but several owners have reported firing upwards of 1,000 rounds with no issues using factory-loaded ammunition. Browning High Power, $1,200. The old adage is, never sell a gun. No matter how basic or utilitarian it may be, you'll inevitably regret it down the road. Some guns are meant to be cherished, and the Browning High Power is just one such beauty. When we talk about legendary firearms, the name of Browning High Power always comes up without fail. It is that classic beauty which has really stood the test of time with unfailing grace. If you aren't familiar with the Browning High Power, you're missing out on life. The Browning High Power is a single-action semi-automatic pistol available in the 9x19mm Parabellum and 40 S&W calibers. It was based on a design by American firearms inventor John Browning and completed by Dudon's Save at FN Herstal. Browning passed away in 1926, several years before the design was finalized. FN Herstal was a leading firearms manufacturer based in Herstal, Belgium, and former vehicle manufacturer. Herstal continued to build guns for the Allied forces by moving their production line to a John Inglis and Company plant in Canada, where the name was changed to High Power. The name change was kept even after production returned to Belgium. The High Power is one of the most widely used military pistols in history, having been used by the armed forces of over 50 countries. Breaking the heart of many a gun enthusiast, after 82 years of continuous production, FN Herstal announced that the production of the High Power would end, and it was discontinued in early 2018 by Browning Arms. From 2019 to 2022, with new Belgian High Powers no longer being built, new clones were designed by various firearm companies to fill the void. These new High Power clones began competing with each other by offering new finishes, enhanced sights, redesigned hammers, beveled magazine wells, improved trigger, and increased magazine capacity. Commendable efforts meant to fill the gap left by a superb piece of firearm artistry. These hybrids were unable to fill the remarkable shoes of their larger-than-life predecessor. In 2022, FN announced they would resume production of the Browning High Power. The 2022 FN High Power incorporated a number of entirely new features, such as a fully ambidextrous slide lock, simplified takedown method, enlarged ejection port, reversible magazine release, wider slide serrations, different colored finish offerings, and 17-round magazines. In contrast to popular belief, the new FN High Power might resemble a modern High Power, but it is in fact a different design. One of the noticeable details is the lack of Browning-style locking lugs. The heart of many a gun connoisseur still beats for the classic Browning High Power, and that's one irreplaceable masterpiece. If you've got it, hang on to it for dear life. Colt Model 1873, $700. The Colt Single Action Army is a single-action revolver handgun. It's an iconic piece of American history, and its name is revered by the masses. It was originally designed for the U.S. government service Revo trials of 1872 by Colt's Patent Firearms Manufacturing Company, and was adopted as the standard-issued pistol of the U.S. Army from 1873 until 1892. The Colt SAA has been offered in over 30 different calibers and various barrel lengths. Its overall appearance has remained consistent since 1873. Colt has canceled its production twice, but brought it back due to popular demand. Briefly, or not so briefly, the Colt M1873 is a single-action, 6-shot solid-frame revolver. The cylinder is loaded by single rounds, located at the right side of the frame. Empty cases are ejected one by one through the opened loading gate by pulling back on the ejector rod, located under the barrel and to the right. The gun can be loaded and unloaded only when the hammer is set to half-cock position. Cylinder can be removed for cleaning and inspection. Since this handgun has no special drop-proof safeties, it is strongly recommended that it should be carried with the empty chamber under the hammer, with only 5 rounds loaded. America's love affair with the Colt is nowhere near to fizzling out. The revolver was dubbed the Peacemaker and is a famous piece of Americana and the American Wild West era due to its popularity with ranchers, lawmen, and outlaws alike. Today, they are mainly bought as memorabilia by collectors and reenactors. Its design has influenced the production of numerous other models from other companies. Walter P38, $1,000. The Walter P38 is a 9mm semi-auto pistol that was developed by Karl Walter GmbH as the service pistol of the Wehrmacht at the beginning of World War II. It was birthed to replace the comparatively complex and expensive to produce Luger P08. Due to Luger's shortcomings, Germany started to look for a replacement as early as 1927, settling on the Walter P38 in 1938, which offered similar performance to the Luger P08, but took almost half the time to produce. The P38 concept was accepted by the German military in 1938, but production of prototype pistols did not begin until late 1939. The third series pistols satisfactorily solved the previous problems for the German army, and mass production began in mid-1940. Most of the post-war P38 pistols were made with aluminum frames. Only a handful of commercial pistols were made with steel frames. There were a couple of modifications of the P38, intended for police use, which appeared during the 1970s. The last commercial P38 pistol was manufactured in 2000. The Walter P38 is a short recoil-operated locked breech pistol. The barrel is locked to the slide using a wedge-shaped locking piece which can tilt up and down below the barrel. This is while it follows the inclined surfaces of the frame. When the barrel and slide are in battery, the locking piece is in its upper position and its lugs securely lock the slide to the barrel. Upon recoil, the locking piece drops down and out of the engagement with the slide, unlocking it and allowing it to recoil and complete the reloading cycle. Because of its short slide, the P38 has 2 captive return springs located on either side of the frame and inside the slide. P38 pistols were fitted with a loaded chamber indicator in the form of a small pin that projected from the rear of the slide, above the hammer, when a cartridge was loaded into the chamber. Sig Sauer P210, $2,000. The SIG P210 is a locked breech self-loading semi-automatic pistol designed and manufactured at Neuhausen am Rheinfall, Switzerland by SIG from 1948 to 2006. It is of all-steel construction chambered in 9x19mm Parabellum and 7.65x21mm Parabellum. It was used from 1949 to 1975 by the Swiss Army and police units. It was also adopted and is still in service with the military of Denmark in 1951 by the German Bundespolizei and in shooting sports. The pistols were decommissioned by the Swiss Army and replaced by the Sig Sauer P220, developed in 1975. Swiss production of the P210 continued until 2006. In 2022, Sig Sauer released the P210 carry originally debuted at the 2010 SHOT Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. The P210 carry is a pistol chambered in 9x19 Parabellum with a capacity of 8+1. The P210 carry is lighter and smaller than the original P210, featuring an alloy frame and a 4.1-inch barrel instead of the 4.7-inch barrel on the original P210. It also differs because it has new additions such as the front slide serrations, the nitron finish, and the black Hogue G10 grips, for a more aggressive and modern look. It's a thing of pure beauty meant for gun collectors and should remain on your case. Colt Detective Special, $800. The Colt Detective Special is a 6-shot carbon steel frame, 2-inch or 3-inch barrel double-action revolver, and the first example of a class of firearms known as snub-nose revolvers. Made by Colt's manufacturing company, this model revolver, as the name Detective Special suggests, was intended to be a concealed weapon used by plainclothes police detectives. Introduced in 1927, the Detective Special was the first short-barreled revolver produced with a modern swing-out frame. It was designed from the outset to be chambered for high-powered cartridges, such as the .38 Special, considered to be a powerful caliber for a concealable pocket revolver of the day. Although the Detective Special proved to be an instant success when first introduced, lackluster sales saw the elimination of the Detective Special from the product line in 1996. John Henry Fitzgerald, an employee of Colt Firearms from 1918 to 1944, first came up with the Fitz Special snub-nosed revolver concept around the mid-1920s, when he modified a .38 Special Colt Police Positive Special revolver by shortening the barrel to 2 inches, shortening the ejector rod, bobbing the hammer spur, rounding the butt, and removing the front half of the trigger guard. Reshaping the hammer and the butt allows the gun to be drawn quickly with little risk of the weapon snagging on clothing. The halved trigger guard facilitates quick trigger acquisition, even for shooters with larger fingers or gloves. Extremely handy as compared to its bulkier counterparts with their flashy long barrels, this snub-nosed firearm is compact enough for easy concealment, becoming a favorite for a more specialized target clientele. The Colt Detective Special was a popular weapon before the semi-automatic pistol replaced the revolver in many police departments, government agencies, and militaries. Myanmar Police Force and some other countries are still using them as officer sidearms. Though replaced, it has a dedicated fan following, and this is one piece which will remain a fan favorite for the future.